Hey everybody, welcome to a What's Poppin' review this time around for the movie Parasite. I am Tim, and this is my buddy Jimmy.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back.
This one's going to be a little different this time
Yes.
because for this particular movie, Jimmy and I both pretty much went in very blind as to what the movie is.
hmm
And it's safe to say we both enjoyed what we watched.
Man, yes. Before we started this recording, guys, and I mentioned it to Tim that I was kind of very hesitant to want to actually review this movie. The reason being why is just because I really want everybody to go out and watch it the way I saw it, which was pretty much go into it not knowing what the heck I was about to watch, and that is the best way to watch this movie.
Yep.
Without knowing any plot synopsis whatsoever, because I promise you, it is
It's a
it's a
ride.
ride, man. It's
Yeah,
a ride. It is a ride that I was so happy I was on, dude, the
yeah, it
entire
was good.
time. And it is one of the most unpredictable movies I have watched in a long time, dude. I could not predict it. Like, I didn't know what was coming up. I didn't know what was gonna happen, and that was good. It
Yep.
was really good.
And
But yeah, so I was just mentioning to him that I felt weird, like wanting to review this because I want you guys to just watch it. That's pretty much it. But go ahead and
It's
continue.
it's it's completely affordable and easy to reach if you
Mhm.
want to go and rent it for without having to buy it. Because I was originally going to see this through YouTube and buy it there.
Mhm.
Decided to rent it through Redbox's website. It was decently priced. Do that
Okay.
right now. Pause
Mhm.
the
I
video.
actually
Check that
rented
out.
it on YouTube. I did it
Oh,
that
okay.
way. It's $5.99 for 48 hours, which isn't very bad at all, honestly.
Right.
And, I
That's fair.
would have paid full theater price, to be honest with you,
Yeah,
for
this
this
deserves.
experience. I would have went in there with fucking popcorn, icy.
Yeah, it's good.
Dude, I
So
tell you, it was I okay, we'll get into it a little bit more.
yes, that's why I'm saying right
Um,
now. I
yeah.
we both heavily recommend it. We'll get into
Yes.
scores a little bit later, but right now, go ahead and pause this video if you have not seen
No,
it.
no, no. I think we should give it a score now. I
Okay.
want to give you guys a score now and pretty much wrap things up for those of you that were telling you to go watch it.
Okay. Fair enough.
But if you don't mind sticking around for us to get kind of deeper dive into the story synopsis, what it's about, and what are our favorite moments from the film. But for now, I think we should pretty much give you guys their score,
Okay.
and pretty guys, we're giving you our recommendation already. Yes, go watch this movie, please.
Yeah.
I already know what I'm gonna give it, Tim. Can I start it off?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I'm giving this the golden bucket, dude. A 5 out of
Wow.
5 for me. I really love this movie, man. I Last night I was feeling pretty much the entire day. I was feeling crummy, sick, and I knew that I had to watch this week because we were gonna review it. So sat down, got a blanket, dude, and I had my tea and I was watching the movie. Oh my god. I fell in love with the actors, the characters, the story was just so damn good, man. And like I said, if you have not seen a trailer, because even the trailer, if I watch one trailer, doesn't really give you anything as to what the story's about, and that's so good. Um, I 100% recommend it. I'm giving this a 5 out of 5. The extra butter
That's
with the icy and the Sour Patch Kids.
nice, dude.
I think it was awesome. I thoroughly enjoyed it, but I
Wow.
want to hear your
The
opinion.
golden bucket from Jimmy.
Yeah,
I think that's your first golden bucket on the
that's my first
podcast.
golden bucket. Yes,
Look at
yeah, that's
that.
crazy because it's a 2019 release, man. Now I regret not watching it last year, but it's like it, at least I got to watch it now.
Yeah. I'm hesitant to give it the 5 just because I'm that much of a stickler. I don't know. I'm
Mhm.
going to be the sour puss in this, but for
Oh,
me,
darn.
it gets the 4 plus. It's on the verge of perfection. It is a fantastic movie. I think what's
Mhm.
holding me back from the 5
You don't have to get
is
too detailed
right.
on
Yeah, I'm not.
why. Yeah, yeah.
I'm saying the only thing that keeps it from being a 5 for me is a 5 for me is something I want to rewatch over and over and over and over again. This one was one that I wouldn't mind seeing every once in a while. And
Okay.
you'll understand that when you watch the
You
movie.
have a good point there. Yeah, you're right. This isn't a movie that I know that I would watch. Oh, I'm gonna pop it right back in and rewatch it again. No, you're right about that. But I feel like this is one of those viewing experiences that once you watch it the first time,
it won't be the same.
It won't be the same. It's not like
Yeah.
it's not like watching it like the first time, dude. It like watching Pulp Fiction for the first time. What the fuck, man? Like that was just like crazy.
Yeah.
And this is what this movie is, in terms of like just your first viewing experience. It's not gonna be like the others. It's still gonna be enjoyable, because the acting and everything, but just the fact that you don't know what is going to happen throughout the whole film is just it's crazy to me, man. I didn't know what to expect, and I'm glad I'm so happy with what I got. So
go watch it, people.
I do understand your point though.
Yes.
But I do want to get deeper into the plot synopsis and everything here, guys. So without further ado, I just want to let you guys know from here on out, please, if you haven't seen the movie yet, go somewhere else.
Spoilers,
because I want
3.
you guys to watch it. Yeah, we're about to spoil this shit. And like I said, if you have no idea going into this movie at all, keep going with that mindset and just go rent the movie, watch it, wherever you're gonna watch it, and enjoy it. Enjoy it for what it is. But from here on out, let's talk
get into
spoilers. Tim.
Mm-hmm.
Man, what the fuck? I just did you expect anything at all from this movie? Like
I regrettably saw one trailer in the theaters. And so I was expecting a family that's poor goes to a rich family and they start working for them, but something ain't right. That's the vibe I got. I didn't know who was the villain. I didn't know who was the hero. I didn't know what the fuck was different. And this is the thing
too, man. So pretty much that's kind of what the plot synopsis is right now. Is the basic plot synopsis is this family pretty much goes to work that's for this richer family that has a lot of money, clearly, and
they got bank, man. I'm telling you what,
they got money, man. So first it starts off with the son. His buddy recommends that, hey, you know what, like, can you go, I want to recommend you to this job or whatever, and to go tutor this girl that I know. She's in the 10th grade in high school, tutor her for English. And he pretty much gets in there and he fakes his way because he tells his buddy that is in college already. He tells him, don't I have to be in college? Aren't they going to look at that? He said, no. He said, the mom is so simple. Like she doesn't care about that kind of stuff. But he still gets his sister, by the way, guys, which I love about this movie, before I continue here, is the fact that they portrayed the poor family I hate it when films do this, but I hate it when they make them seem like they're stupid or they don't know what they're doing.
Right.
No, this is the total opposite. This family is fucking smart, dude.
They're thrifty, man, which you have to be when you're poor.
Yes, they're survivors. They're scavengers. They work themselves into situations and work themselves out of situations. And so this kid, his buddy tells him, can you go tutor the girl? Yeah, all right. Sounds good. He's gonna go do it, but he ends up having his sister, which he's from a family of 4. It's just him, his sister, his mom, and his dad. His sister is very tech savvy, and she's super smart too. She ends up forging a document basically saying that he graduated from this school, and pretty much just giving them the okay that he's gonna tutor this the daughter and all that. So he goes. He shows his papers. The mom pretty much waves it off. She doesn't care. She just cares about the recommendation, which was his buddy. That, oh, your buddy recommended him. We trusted him. It's unfortunate. We wanted to stick with him, but he says that you're okay. He's like, all right. So he teaches her, pretty much at the beginning, but you can tell that they kind of get into it, meaning like they like each other.
Which was a bit awkward.
It was a little awkward.
But it was fine for, I guess, what it was going for. I mean, you kind of believed it.
Yeah, she was the daughter gets like really attached to him. It was almost kind of creepy because like she kind of like borderline obsessed a little bit. And that's the immediate vibe that I got.
Yep.
And so when he goes to this house, there's a housekeeper and there's a driver, and pretty much the mom from this family, which is a family of four again, which is the daughter. There's a little son. The father, he's a rich man, owns his house, and then the mother, which pretty much just stays home and caters to the kids and make sure everything's done there. And so she.
You mean the housekeeper? No. Okay,
the mom. Yeah. So the mom, she pretty much is looking for someone to pretty much get the kid in check, keep him in line, just teach him discipline, because the kid is kind of like just all over the place. He's
hyper.
He's easily distracted, very hyper. He's pretty much a kid, just like any other kid. That's the only thing I didn't understand. But I get it, because Asian families, Koreans and stuff, like they're all about like being strict and going to school and all that stuff. So I think he was just a little too wild for them, and they wanted him to be more in line. And so he recommends to her that, hey, I have this this friend or a cousin that she deals with kids, that are like that, and she puts them, into work and kind of gets them in line with everything. And she's like, oh, okay, but the person that he's about to recommend is a sister. Yep. So they're all faking and acting to get into the jobs to work with these
earn that money
with the rich family. Yes.
Yep.
So now we have the brother and sister in there pretending to know how to teach or whatever,
which they're pretty good at bullshitting, to be honest.
But the son, he actually knows what he's doing, because even the buddy that recommended him told him, oh, you can teach anybody better than anybody that from college or whatever. So the son was not faking it. He was only faking at the fact that he didn't go to college. He
just faked his credentials.
He faked his credentials. The sister, on the other hand, did not have any credentials. She did not have any experience. She fucking Googled everything and she learned that shit, and she actually teaches this kid to be a little bit more
well-mannered,
in line with doing the work and well-mannered and stuff. And so, which is nuts, that she catches like an incident apparently that he had in the first grade or something like that. I think it was around the first grade. Yeah. That kind of affected him mentally or whatever. And so the mom was like shocked. Wow. She's like, great. She's a miracle worker. And they notice
the daughter does a crazy move in the car shortly after this,
that
blew me away. I was like, what?
So the daughter is asked if she needs a ride home to her house, and so they get their driver, and she kind of sets him up and takes her panties off and puts it underneath the car to set him up to get him fired.
Yep.
Why? Because now they're gonna get the dad to work as the driver, and the dad, I think, didn't really have any experience in terms of driving at all.
They had to go to a car place to like set and test out cars they were going to buy. And he's sitting there like, okay, so this is a steering wheel. This is the radio. And I was like, oh God, he's going to crash the car.
So, the dad, I think he said that he did valet or something like that or whatever, but they needed to make sure that he was professional enough for this job, because he was going to be driving around the dad, the money maker. And sure enough, they get him in, and now the dad's the new driver. Now that leaves one other person, which is the housekeeper. No, the housekeeper, not the mom. The housekeeper.
Well, the mom of the family.
Oh yeah, the mom for the other family. Yes. So they try to get the mom in by pretty much setting this housekeeper up by making it seem that she has TB, tuberculosis, and
they're fucking ruthless.
She's allergic to peaches. That's what they find out. And so they have the little dusty part from the peaches that they get. They kind of scrape it off and they throw it on her as they walk by. And so she starts breaking out like in hives, or she starts coughing.
Yeah, it's biowarfare.
Yeah, so they set her up to where they actually fire her, because it was more of like a hygiene thing, where she just didn't want anybody, or they didn't want anybody to get her sick or anyone sick inside the house. Right. So they got her fired. And so that's when they recommended a new housekeeper, which is their mom. So now we have this whole family that kind of forged their way into working in this house and getting paid. And at first, like the movie's fun and stuff, but it gets really dark.
It goes hey, we're having a good time, having a drink as the family's out. This is great, whatever. All of a sudden it goes, hey, that's a fun time you're having? I'm going to take a baseball bat and make you go, what? It goes, whoa, off the rails real quick.
Yes, it does. And pretty much this family, the rich family, goes on a quick vacation to go camping. And while they're out camping, the poor family stays inside that house, pretty much just living the life, man.
Drinking all the booze.
Drinking booze, eating all their food, taking showers, warm showers, chilling out on the lawn, just everything, just having a good time, right? And so the night is good. They're chilling out. And sure enough, here's the big twist, guys, is that the old housekeeper comes back to the house. It's raining. And she's pretty much telling the new housekeeper, which is, the mom from the poor family. She's like, oh, I left something in the basement. Can I go get it?
Right.
She's
and
like,
the camera, real quick, the camera shows like behind the housekeeper that she's cut the wires to like the security cameras to the house. And so you're immediately
so they won't know that she walked up.
Oh, fuck.
The family won't know like that she went up there to ask for this, or she came back or whatever, right? Ask for whatever she's asking for. She said something, and so they let her in. And she immediately goes down to the basement where like the wine, where they have wine and all that other stuff, like the cellar, right?
Yeah.
And she's down there for a good minute, and the mom decides that she's gonna go she's about to go down there, right? And then she turns around and the mom says, oh, what do you need to get or whatever? And then she looks at her like very creepy, and she tells her, well, why don't you come down here with me? And that led me to believe, oh shit, she's gonna fucking kill her.
Yeah, dude, that's what I thought too.
Dude, this is gonna get wild, because the look she gave her was like, why don't you come down here with me? Like to find out. Just she said, come down here and find out. Oh God. So the mom stays up top in the kitchen, and she watches her just go down to the basement, and she doesn't come back up for minutes. And she's like, she gave up. She's like, fuck it, I'm gonna go down there and see what the hell she's up to. And she sees her like
propped up, like trying to push this thing.
Yeah, pushing this this cabinet full of like alcohol. And she's like trying to push the shelf, and she doesn't understand, like, what the hell is she doing? She asks her, she's like, oh, help me pull this thing or whatever. And so they pull it off, and lo and behold, like, there is a hidden door behind this, cabinet full of alcohol. And she's freaked out a little bit. So she follows her down this door, and this door leads down to like an underground, pretty much bunker.
Yeah.
And it's just, she follows her down there. It's very creepy and sketchy. And she follows her down there, and pretty much she finds that this other housekeeper, the one that they got fired, was housing her husband in their house there in his underground bunker.
Which, real quick, at first, whenever that happened and she was like, they're there, and she's like, I'm here, they got somebody else working here. I thought that the rich family had like held the housekeeper and her husband hostage there. So I was like,
dude, that would have been a crazy twist too.
Yeah, I was like, oh shit.
Coming at the family's fucking crazy.
That's what I thought for a second. I was like, oh shit. And then
I was thinking, oh no way, like the family's fucking nuts, and they're murdering people. Like what? That would have been a crazy twist. They tried so hard to get to work there, only to realize they put themselves in a shittier situation.
That's what I thought it was going to do, but no, it didn't do that at all. It had a cool twist of its own.
Yeah, it had its own very good twist. Like, and this is what I mean by it stayed very unpredictable, because that's immediately what me and Tim thought. But it wasn't that. No. It was something else. It was just that she was housing her husband there, and she would pretty much give him food every once in a while. Like, she'll just slide it under the door or put it by the door or whatever. And he's just pretty much living down there. And so they realize, or the housekeeper quickly realizes that she got fired because of them, because she sees the whole family. She's like, wait, you guys are all family. Like, what the fuck? Like, you guys fired. You got me fired. And so she starts recording them and pretty much blackmailing them, saying that she was in a sentence to the mom because she has direct contact still with the parents.
Which was kind of funny, too. She was like, keep the arms out.
That's the only part that got me a little like, what? Because they could have easily recorded her, too, with her husband being housed underground, then that means that nobody would have got the fucking job. So they could have negotiated something there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To still work it out. So that's where I was a little bit like I don't understand. Like she's not in the right here either, because she was housing somebody that the parents didn't even know that they had an underground bunker. By the way, the parents had no idea, or this family had no idea that they had that there.
Right. Well, I think at that point where she's like has this recording of them, it's down there, and so she's like, well, either way, I'm gonna burn for this if it goes to that. So I'm gonna take you with me. And the family was like, I don't want to burn. I don't want to go down at all. So they're like, we're not even gonna try and fight it. We just really don't want that to go out. I think that was the main thing.
Yeah. And so this is where they kind of put themselves in the pickle, where, you know, the old housekeeper and her husband pretty much have them, you know, framed, and, you know, they're ready at the push of a button. They're ready to go ahead and send this video off to them. And so they ended up like just going back upstairs, and they're kind of talking a little bit, and they're the housekeeper and the husband are just talking a lot of shit to him because they know that they got him or whatever, right? But then they end up rushing the housekeeper and the husband, and taking the phone away from them, and eventually getting them tied up and then put down in the cellar again. They tie both of them up and they throw them under there.
Well, not quite. Is it at that point that they're both down there?
They get them both down there,
right?
And then as they're doing that, they get a call from the mother saying that their camping trip got canceled, and so they're 8 minutes away. So it gets more intense because they're trying to get these two people that they found out one person was living there, but the other housekeeper was housing him there secretly, and so they get them both down there, tie them up, pretty much tape their mouths or whatever, and they rush back up there. And keep in mind, the only person that's supposed to be at the house is the housekeeper, which is the mom, and then the other three are supposed to be, they're not supposed to be there. So they throw all the trash underneath the couch, and they hide underneath this giant ass living room table, and they're just under there as the family comes back from their, you know, their little trip or whatever, and they're just walking around the house, and they're just stuck there for like the whole night until they can go to bed.
I mean, the son, so he actually stole the diary of the girl. He went up, had to replace that, and then the girl was coming up the stairs, had to go under her bed. The dog is growling at him as he's under the bed. And so then when she leaves the room, he has to go back down. Like, everyone has to eventually convene underneath that
they're
table.
pretty much trying to avoid this family the entire time because they don't want to get caught being there, because they're not supposed to. Only the mom was supposed to be there because she's technically the new housekeeper. So it gets fucking wild, guys. It really does. Eventually, the sister, the brother, and the dad make their way out eventually, after being under that table and hearing the parents have sex, and it gets wild. And so
before that even, like, I know that the old housekeeper, she actually like got loose and was kind of coming up out of the basement. And was running, right. And the new housekeeper, the mom of the thrifty family, just shoves her or kicks her.
No, she kicks her. She kung fu kicks her down the stairs, Bop! Dude.
And she goes, thump, 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 and then she's out for the rest of the movie. She's dead.
Which is, I thought it was a little weird too, because she wasn't like yelling or anything. I would have been yelling as I was walking up the stairs so that way the mom can hear me, but she didn't. But she fucking just kicks her real quick and just gives them their dinner.
Like, oh shit!
I was like, whoa. Yeah, so it gets even more wilder, man, as it progresses. So they end up finally escaping. The sister and the dad, and the brother. All three of them. They go back home eventually.
All that way back home,
and it's raining, pouring rain. Yeah. And they live in the bottom of the pretty much like area.
It's bottom of like the slums. All the rainwater goes down there.
So it's interesting because like the rich families, like they love the rain, right? They love the rain or whatever, but it has a negative effect on the families that live down below. And that means that all that water pretty much floods their fucking homes or whatever. So as they're making their way back home, their whole house is flooded with everything, and they're just like struggling again. And they have to live in the they have to go live in a gym for the night, or spend the night in the gym until the water clears out.
Yep.
And it just pretty much shows that, like, the differences. And um it's, I don't know, man, I really enjoyed this movie, dude, because this movie it has so many different meanings behind it. I don't know what you took from this out of the whole thing.
It was a really powerful movie in the sense of the differences of wealth that go beyond just what we can afford. It goes into the quality that we live. And that shows a lot of different colors, whether what we eat, the shelter we have, the experiences of how we perceive rain, how we perceive just common, fun times, and the hired help aspect. It feels very much like we own you while you're here.
Yeah.
Rather than we have a business relationship. Just because it frustrates me whenever the wealthy get that way. As far as beyond its overall message, which I think is solid,
there's multiple messages, by the way. Like, one of the main messages for me that I got out of it, there's, I don't know, man, there's so many of them that I wanted to like talk about, that I know that it will probably go on forever. But like, there's a sequence in the movie where like a lot of the rich people, even the fucking kid, dude, mentions that, hey, they smell the same or whatever, right? Meaning, and then the parents start to smell them, and the dad makes a comment saying like, oh, that's the smell of like whatever people, like poor people, it smells like, when they're crammed up in the subway or whatever, that the low poverty people like have a distinct smell about them. And throughout the movie, you'll catch them doing that. They'll catch their nose like, oh, like they fucking smell like the workers, and slowly the dad is losing his shit. Like, he can't fucking take it anymore. Like the not the owner of the house.
No, the thrifty dad.
The thrifty dad. He's pretty much slowly losing his shit. He's losing his patience because they're acting like pieces of shit.
They're berating him. They're insulting him as a person. Like, they're talking about him in a negative way, like he isn't even there. And he's right there.
Yeah,
that would be infuriating.
Yes, and so, it's just, yeah, I definitely want to get around to the ending here. So basically, here's the craziest. This is where everything fucking escalates, man. So the family wakes up after that night of sleeping in the gym or whatnot, and they're just pretty much talking to each other. The dad is giving the son advice. What are we gonna do? Whatever. Like, we need to have a plan. And the dad is, pretty much teaching him a life lesson that, life is better without a plan, because, if you make plans or whatever, then you're always gonna let yourself down if they don't turn out a certain way. It's best to just kind of go take life as it is, as it comes to you, pretty much. And then he was just telling him, let's just go with the flow. Let's see how it goes or whatever. And so the rich family wakes up, from that night, and they're gonna have a surprise birthday party for the son, because the son decided to sleep outside in the lawn, because their camping trip got ruined. So the son is out there in his little, Indian, Native American
teepee.
tent. Yeah, little teepee. And so the mom and dad wake up, and they tell the housekeeper, which is the mom, because the mom stayed at the house. She didn't go to the gym with them,
right?
Because she was the housekeeper or whatever. And so she stayed there, and she tells her, hey, we're gonna have a birthday party for her son. You're gonna need to get things ready, get the tables and the cake, and we're gonna get everyone invited, and all these other all rich families and friends are gonna be there. And they finally, and then they start calling everybody up. They start calling the driver, which is the dad, and they start calling the son, which is the tutor. Pretty much because the daughter is in love with him, and so she wants him there too. And then they invite the sister as well. So they invite the whole family again to the party or whatnot. And as the party's going, they finally get everything together. As the party's going on, the dad speaks to his driver, which is, the low,
Mhm.
the poor dad, pretty much tells him that, they wanted to jump out, do a surprise thing for the son or whatever. And
The poor dad's thoughts are kind of elsewhere, understandably.
yeah,
And then
they're
the rich dad looks at him and goes, I'm paying you overtime for this.
yeah, like you better do this shit, like type of look, you know what I mean? Like, so
And I'm like,
this scene was a little rough to watch, man, because you can see that the dad, like I said, throughout the movie, you see the dad's frustration, and he just kind of like is slowly losing it. He's losing his patience. He's losing his patience because of how fucking bratty this family becomes. In the beginning, it's different because
we don't really know them yet.
Yeah, you don't really know them, and you kind of feel for them a little bit because they don't realize that they let their doors open to some of these potential, like, thieves, right. And because technically they are kind of thieves. They're eating their food and fucking, sleeping there and drinking their booze or whatever. Yeah. So you feel for that rich family a little bit, but later on, as you start to develop, you start to feel for the poor family again, and because, like I said in the beginning, they're scavengers, they're survivors. They're pretty much, they have to do what they got to do to stay alive. And so it goes back to the basement, and we reconnect with the old housekeeper and her husband. And the old housekeeper finally frees her husband. She gets up and she realizes that she had a concussion and she's dizzy. She's dying. She's pretty much dying. Like, she's barely staying alive, and she's able to free her husband. Her husband is able to get out of the cellar, from the underground bunker up to the kitchen.
Well, you were missing.
No! Before that,
yeah,
he kills the son.
So the son goes down there. He had this whole time. His friend gave him a really nice rock and was supposed to like this rock's supposed to bring you fortune and wealth
and good wealth
and all that stuff. And so the son was like, "This means a lot to me. It weighs a shit ton, but it means a lot." So when the house was flooding, he made sure to get that out of the house before they left to the gym. Mm-hmm. So he's got this rock. He won't let it go. He brings it to the house for the party. He's there upstairs while with the daughter, watching over the lawn as the whole family's kind of doing their thing. And he's like, "I feel like I need to take care of something." And she's like, "We'll do it," or whatever. So he goes with the rock with the full intention to go down there and probably just murder those other two people just to get it done. And he drops the rock, and it goes all the way down the steps real loud. And he's like, "Shit." Like, yeah. Oh, God. So he creeps down there.
I think he was probably going to go down there and just walk down there to pretty much, like, because he felt bad that they were stuck down there. And so he goes down there and he drops the rock or whatever. And he slowly makes his way down there, and he sees that the lady's knocked out, like, on the floor. And as he's about to go, like, reach for her,
the guy,
to wake
like,
her up,
wraps a noose thing around his neck and, like, pulls it, and he goes all the way back to this thing. And he barely escapes with his life up the stairs.
So the son ends up actually was able to, like, unhook himself, runs all the way upstairs, and the husband of the old housekeeper chases after him, is able to finally catch up to him, pulls the wire because he still has the wire around him, and pretty much kills the son. Or I thought killed the son. I thought this was gonna kill him. He fucking hits him with a rock twice, dude, and there's like a puddle of blood on his head.
So I thought he was dead.
I was thinking, okay, he's dead, like, for sure. Like, he hit him twice. That second time definitely did some damage to him. Yeah. And so that husband goes all the way up, grabs a knife in the kitchen, and you can see him walking up to the birthday party that's happening outside with all these rich families and everybody. And he immediately
stabs the
daughter.
Not the rich daughter, the poor daughter.
The poor daughter. She ends up stabbing her right in the chest, and this whole family's freaking the fuck out, and everybody's running and stuff. And the dad from the poor family, like, ends up, like, kind of like getting in a scuffle with him, trying to stop him to, like, from killing anybody else, really. And he notices as he's doing this, nobody's helping. None of the rich families, they're all getting the fuck out of there instead of helping, knocking the guy out or whatever.
Well, their son,
and even hold on, let me say, and even the family, the rich family, the husband tells him throw me the keys. We need to get out of here.
Well, because
And
the
instead
little
of helping
son,
him,
yeah, well, because the little son had seen the lurker married man in the basement come up once before, and it scared him so much he fainted. Well, he faints again when he sees him with the knife, understandably.
yeah.
So then the rich family's like, we got to go to the hospital, but they don't give a shit about the person who actually got stabbed.
Which is that, that's his daughter, the driver's daughter, and he loses his shit, man. And so he's finally able to get off of him because the mother, which is the housekeeper, stabs the husband of the old housekeeper, stabs him on the side of the stomach and is able to get off, right? It pretty much kills him. And so the dad grabs a knife from the old husband and stabs the rich dad. Like, he lost his shit because he saw that he didn't give a damn about his own daughter that died, or he wasn't helping him at all. He lost it. He just fucking stabs him right in his chest, dude. And if he wouldn't have done that, they would have been fine.
They might have been liable for the lady in the basement, although they could have tied it to the dead guy who stabbed everybody else.
Yeah, exactly. So they would have been okay, but it's just that the dad lost his patience, he lost his shit, and that when he saw his daughter die, that was like the final straw for him. So he wanted to he wanted to make sure that he suffered or whatever. And the ending is very depressing, in my opinion, because it goes back to where, I guess, apparently they found out that the mother and the son were forging their way in there. They're like actual workers or whatever, right? Like they find out. The mom finds out, and they pretty much were gonna go to jail, but they end up getting probation instead.
And the son's stuck with like a,
because they didn't do anything wrong. Technically, they kind of just like they counted off as like forgery and like other stuff, like breaking and entering, kind of pretty much. Well,
I think so.
There's other charges that they gave them, and
the son's stuck after the rock attack with this problem of laughing at everything.
Yeah, so his son ends up being okay after all. We thought he died, but no, he ends up having some brain damage in the beginning, but he's okay. They gave him brain surgery, and they were going to send them off, the mom and the son, but they ended up giving him probation, so they were okay. But the dad was nowhere to be found. Apparently, they see on the news that the dad pretty much just took off and never to be seen again, because the wire that old housekeeper lady had cut off for the camera wasn't working there, so they don't know which direction he went. Come to find out that the dad ends up actually, as he's leaving, he goes back in the garage inside the house and actually goes down in the underground bunker and lives down there for pretty much years.
Yep.
And he's like doing Morse code to his son, because there's like light switches that control inside the house, and whenever someone's asleep, whenever they're all asleep, he does a little light switch to give him Morse code, because his son was like in Boy Scouts or whatever. So his son will go back to the house and realizes that his dad's still alive and he's there. And he pretty much, like, I don't know how he writes to him or what. I don't know how this message got across.
The ending to me is kind of, it's a hopeful promise with the full intention of that coming true, but he hasn't yet delivered the message. That's the way it came across to me.
Okay. So the son is pretty much writing a message to his dad, right? That he's going to eventually, he's gonna go to school and he's gonna do well, and he's gonna earn enough money to buy the house himself, so that way his dad can go out of the basement, just walk up and just hug his family with open arms, his wife and his son. And they show that in the film, and it leaves you like, fuck yeah, dude. Like, the son did good. He actually, he did the right thing. He went to school, and he ended up, getting rich himself.
Yep.
But then it pans over again, the screen goes black, and it goes back to where his son is pretty much living, down in the slums with his mom. And he's just writing this letter. So it hasn't come to fruition, like what you said. It hasn't happened yet, but that's just what his plan is. Like, he wants that. So
yeah. It was a wild ride of a movie, and like
It is.
we both
It
gave
is.
it really high
We,
scores. You gave it your
it was,
5.
I'm just telling you guys, whenever we're actually trying to play a scene by scene here and talk about it, it doesn't do any justice at all. You need to
No.
watch this movie for yourself, and I really hope you guys do. And for those of you that did watch this movie, let us know what you guys thought, man, because it was a fucking ride. And I didn't predict any of this. I didn't know what was gonna happen. I didn't know what the hell. I didn't think the dad was gonna go run back into the basement. Like, that didn't cross my mind at first. I was like, what's gonna happen to him? Are they gonna kill him? Are they gonna arrest him? Or what?
Yeah.
Like, it was nutty, man. But this leads me like to like want to watch more of the Bong Joon, I think his name is.
Oh, Bong Joon-ho.
Yeah, Bong Joon-ho. I want to see his other work. He has other movies that he's done that apparently are pretty good too. So I wouldn't mind check. This is kind of, opened me up to wanting to watch his other stuff.
For sure.
Like Ocha, and then there's Snowpiercer. There's other stuff that he's done, but this is the film that kind of got him like his recognition.
One more thing I wanted to say as well about the movie, which is really, really cool, is besides the storytelling aspect of it all and the really well done plot twists and everything like that, is the cinematography. Like several different shots. I know there's one in particular when there's slums where they live down there in the absolute lows of the low, and it's flooding and everything like that. One way it transitions to seeing them in the gym is the water level like rises like this, and all of a sudden they're in a completely different scene. And I think that was such a well done transition. It blew me away. I loved that.
Yeah,
but there's a whole slew of them.
There's so many shots in this film that are just so memorable, that stick with you. Like I thought it was fucking awesome, dude. And also like when movies do that whole thing where they follow somebody behind them as they're walking. They do that a lot, where it's just like they're pretty much following them down the hallway, just right behind them the whole way. It captures a weird feel, like a realistic feel to it, like almost that you're there seeing them have the conversations or where they're going, you're going with them, and it's really nice. It doesn't like cut from scene to scene to scene all the time. There have those nice little artistic little shots there, and I think it was great, man. I like I said, earlier in the beginning of the review, 5 out of 5 for me. I enjoyed it, and watching it for the very first time, you're not gonna have that same experience the next few times.
No,
just because of all the twist, and you're like, where is this going, man? How is this gonna end? And
for sure.
even at the very end, I still wasn't able to predict that wasn't actually what happened, where he bought the house or whatever. It's just something that he wants to do, so that way he can get his dad out of the basement, because he's fucked in there. Like, he can't leave. The cops are after him. Everyone's after him.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's screwed.
You gave it a 5, a Golden Bucket Award, the first of the podcast, by the way.
First Golden Bucket, man.
And I give it a 4+. If the only reason, like I said, is that this isn't a movie I would want to rewatch, and that's something that it's for me is a 5. I want to rewatch them, but yeah, it's such a huge recommendation. We encourage you guys to, if you haven't, and for some reason you watched all the way through, please still watch it. Try it, because like we said, it's not going to do any justice to hear us talk about it. You need to see it.
And a lot of reviews, I'm not gonna always like pretty much go scene by scene by scene, but I just felt like this movie in particular, I needed to let you guys know where we go from point A to point Z, like what the fuck, man, all over the place, because in the beginning we didn't know what kind of film this was, so I needed to break down pretty much how the film develops and the characters and where the story goes. That's why. So a lot of these films I'm not gonna always break down scene by scene, but this one in particular I needed to let you guys know where my thought process was at this point, and I'm just like, wait, what is going on? Wait. Someone living in the basement?
Yeah, it was crazy.
The fuck? The old housekeeper was doing the same shit they were doing. So it's like, it's nuts, man. You guys need to. I 100% recommend this film, even if you did stick all the way through. Watch it for yourself, because me describing the scenes doesn't do it justice at all. It does not, especially with the cinematography, like what Tim was saying. A lot of the shots, the way it's done, and the sounds and everything is just nicely done, man.
Yes, indeed.
And this house, by the way, is fucking gorgeous, man.
Yeah, goals for sure.
Gorgeous house. Golden
Yeah.
bucket for the house.
For sure. But yeah, guys, if
well,
you could do me a huge favor, do us a huge favor, hit that like button if you enjoyed this review, and please consider subscribing if you haven't already. Also, let us know down below in the comments if you have seen this movie and what you thought about it or what you think differently. And also, if you can, follow us on our individual Twitters and the What's Poppin' Twitter, and over Jimmy's channel on Twitch is just Jimmy, I believe, right?
Yep. Just Jimmy on Twitch.
Yep, indeed. So until next time, guys, we're going to go ahead and say peace out, and hope you guys see us in the next What's Poppin' podcast.
See you soon, guys.